So I just realized that sharing the story is going to take way too much time. I should have already known that. Actually, let me turn on my light. And this is the last one for the evening before I give up and get ready to do stuff that I have to do. Because I do live life beyond this. And today I actually feel a little bit better than normal, so I want to take advantage. Anyways, we left off at the nurse. The nurse whispers in my ear, if it is Lyme's disease, this is the Western blot test. This test will most likely come back negative, which I didn't know what that meant at that time. And she said, your symptoms sound pretty close to Lyme's disease, so don't give up on this. My boyfriend at that time was offered a position in Washington, so I was researching Lyme's literate doctors at that time, because once she said that, I went home, I looked it up, it fit me to a T. I figured that was out of, 3 years. 3 years. That was the closest that I got to an answer, so I wasn't going to give up on it. And found 2 Lyme's literate doctors I was torn between. One was in San Francisco and one was in Washington. And anyways, I wanted to support him in his job movement and all that stuff, and I didn't have anything to lose pretty much anymore at that point. I was facing death, so anyways, moved down there, went to go see the doctor. He gave me a blood test through a lab called iGenetics, which I touched on earlier. That came back positive. I think you can hit like 3 panels, 3 bars. There's bars on the panel, and each bar that goes off is an indicator in certain areas of Lyme's disease. And I hit 3 is like diagnosis requirements, and I hit like 6. So I had full-blown, Lyme's. Started on the antibiotics. Antibiotics, I'll have to go into the treatment courses that you can take for this and what my beliefs are on treatment, which there's not a lot known out there, so you're kind of a lab rat, to be honest. Anyways, he told me what the risks were involved in taking that many antibiotics for that long, and you could have told me at that time that you would have had to cut my arm off for me to feel normal, and I would have been like, let's do it, take it off, just give me some peace. So the antibiotics really didn't bother me, so I did that for a year, and sure enough, some of my symptoms lifted, and I went about 2 years now with some light symptoms. I mean, when a Lyme's victim, or at least for me, I'll just talk for me, when I say that a symptom is light, most people would be freaking out. Most people would be in the doctor's office begging for, or calling their boss the next day saying they're not coming into work. I've had to learn, like a lot of Lyme's victims say, I've had to learn how to adjust normal living around this. And so I've learned how to override pain. So something that I say is not a big deal is usually a pretty big deal on, I guess, regular standards. But long story short, I've gone 2 years with as much normality as I could ask for, which was incredible. A few episodes here and there, some fatigue, on and on, but in comparison it really wasn't that bad. And then this last episode, or last flare-up, really opened my eyes to a lot of things about the disease. I finally have settled with what it is that I'm going to be up against, probably for the rest of my life. But I understand it better, and I'm a little more comfortable in it, and it hurts like hell, and I never know what's going to go next, or if I'm going to get help, but I do know that I have it, and so at least I have my answer, and that's where it starts. But anyways, and I have a Lyme's literate doctor, so I have some sort of an avenue for help right now. But this last round, my eyesight went out on me. It hit neurological pretty hardcore. What's scary about late-term Lymes is it seems like the research that I've done is the longer you have it and the more severe it gets, the more it hits neurological, and that's when you look into people that are in wheelchairs or bedridden or loss of certain functions, and so that's scary. But I'm going to be here tomorrow, so one foot in front of the other, I guess. But yeah, I lost my vision pretty much completely. I had to be flown out to stay with my mother in San Diego and be under care. I was incapacitated, is what the doctor said. I couldn't see my feet. I couldn't walk a few feet. I couldn't open the refrigerator door. I couldn't cook for myself. What else? I couldn't go out into sunlight. I had what they called photophobia, which is not an actual phobia. It's when you have severe light sensitivity. I was falling over, so my equilibrium was off. There's a name for that. I don't know what it is. I thought I was going to lose my eyesight permanently, which was scary. I was also having some problems with my thinking process, and what I think it all amounted to was inflammation in my brain, or it was hitting the nerves or something that function in my brain, and that's pretty normal for late-term Lymes when it hits the brain. So incredibly, this disease is weird in that way. I got back to normal, got my grounding, and I'm living life again. So that's kind of the gist of my symptoms. There's many more, but that's as much as I can share for now before I pass out, because I'm tired and I've got a bunch to do. Have a good night. Thanks for listening. I hope it helped. At least it's a way for me to vent. And it's another documented case on the books of this disease, so that's what's important.